I'm very happy to join this session, first session, and the introduction from my end. So I am Venugopal Reddy. I started my spiritual journey in the year 1997. So what a wonderful journey indeed. It's a fantastic journey. I can say that a great master and a simple technique, a wonderful extended family of light called Pyramid Spiritual Society Movement. And all these years, only these three things gave me everything. So fantastic journey indeed. So all these years, whatever I experienced and the knowledge which I gained through the continuous exploration, continuous learning, continuous sharing. So this is my regular this thing. And in the year 2004, Patriji, my master, as advised by him, myself and the other great master, A.V. Sai Kumar Reddy, personal secretary to Patriji, together we started Spiritual India, the publishing magazine, the international magazine. So it is a wonderful magazine. This is a magazine, a Spiritual India. So we are publishing this from the past 15 or 16 years. And in the year 2010, one more magazine called Spiritual Science we started. And these two magazines continuously publishing regularly every month. We are publishing this. These magazines scatter all the spiritual, I can say the 360 degrees of spirituality, which covers all the topics, everything, like meditation, vegetarianism, pyramid energy, astral body, chakras, past lives, future lives, astral worlds, life after death, and so many topics. Intuition, teleportation, telekinesis, like this many topics we are covering through this magazine. And all these years, at my knowledge, I prepared few concepts. From that, one of the most important concept is science of meditation, the basic, fundamental, and the most important topic, most important subject for each and every spiritual seeker. So I am going to start the session now with my presentation. Few of the slides you can see, because the images which I am going to show you, it conveys maximum message what I am going to say. So my dear friends, so let me continue the session with these slides. So dear friends, So first, in the science of meditation, we have a few divisions. The first is the mind and the science of brain, the meditation, breath and meditation, and the three grand happenings, meditational experience, importance of meditation, benefits of meditation, pyramid meditation, and Svadhyaya. So now we will cover, according to our time, we will cover up to breath and meditation, which is most important in this science of meditation. So my dear friends, in this first is mind. We will start with the mind, which is most important topic in all the spiritual seekers. Whoever, whatever they start, first they should understand the mind first, because mind is the most important area in spiritual journey. So the first is the mind and body are together, entangled together. Means we experience body objectively and we experience the mind subjectively. Means you can see the physical body, you can touch the physical body, you can experience the physical body, but you cannot see the mind. Why? You go to any doctor or any laboratory, you just ask them to give you your mind. The entire world, any great scientist, they cannot give you. Why? Because it is in invisible arena. It is in the, you cannot see it. It is subtle. It is non-physical. That's why you cannot see the mind, but you can experience the mind through the body. Whatever happens in the mind, it reflects in the body immediately. If you are sad, immediately it reflects. The same ripples, whatever happens in the mind, immediately it reflects in the body. If you are in a good mood or a happy mood, immediately it reflects in the body. But nothing is happening in the body right now. Or whenever you are in that field, nothing is happening. Everything is happening in the mental area. Mental area means in subtle area, in the invisible part of your own self. So dear friends, what I want to say, we are non-physical beings first. That means we are the energy beings first and the physical beings next. Everything happens in the non-physical area, then it reflects into the physical. Whatever, each and everything, our own system, the physical system, is entire system of our identity in the physical world is well designed by the non-physical part, my dear friends. Remember this point, the number one point, and most important point also. Unless the non-physical is there, you cannot exist here. Because you are well designed by layers and layers and layers by layers in the non-physical, then you finally appear in the physical form. In a nutshell, I can say the invisible part of your body is your soul. The physical part of your soul is your physical body. So whatever happens in the mind, naturally it reflects, it carries, is drawn towards the physical body because you are experiencing in physical life. So my dear friends, that's why we have to take care of the mind first. We have to take care of the mind, the invisible part of the mind, because through the mind only we are experiencing the entire life. It depends, your life depends on totally on your mind first. So we have to sit right the mind first. In average human being, knowingly, unknowingly, they produce 60,000 thoughts per day. See how the mind is playing, how many thoughts you are producing, is that important or not? Everybody they have to question themselves. They have to question themselves how much I am thinking, which is the relevant, which is irrelevant. Because nobody is there to look at to their minds. Because they believe that whatever is going inside, they feel that they are that. But my dear friends, as a spiritualist, I am saying that is not correct. You can have a choice if you are ready to prepare yourself by doing meditation regularly. You have a choice. So by following continuously the same thing, that the play of illusionary mind, you produce so many thoughts continuously, which leads to a restless, which called, you can see the slide, a restless mind, how it reflects. You are a perfect being actually. If your mind is clear, you can see the moon. The same thing, if you are disturbed, the mind is restless, then you cannot see yourself properly, who you are exactly. You can see the reflection. The same moon is the image is not clear because the mind is disturbed. It is foggy. It's a foggy mirror, you cannot see yourself. So my dear friends, the restless mind always, it keeps on wasting the energy through the inner chatter. We always keep on talking ourselves continuously, knowingly, unknowingly. So the mind doesn't know how to be in the present moment, my dear friends. So we have to sit right the mind first, the non-physical part of ourselves. The natural and the restless, irrelevant patterns of the mind results in a great unwanted dissipation of energy, because we lose most of our non-physical energy through the continuous thinking, knowingly, unknowingly. So continuation inner chatter, which creates lots of dissipation of our own energy, my dear friends. As I told you, we are non-physical beings. We are surrounded by the great electromagnetic field surrounded by us always. You may be physical, but your non-physical part, if you cannot, you cannot see your aura, but it is there. The invisible part of yourself, the aura is surrounded by you, but through that, by thinking regularly, the inner chatter from this, you can see here, the invisible part of yourself, the aura, from that you continuously waste your energy through your feelings, through your emotions and thoughts. It's a continuous loop. Your thoughts creates emotions and the emotions create thoughts. So from this loop, if you are not coming out from this loop, you are wasting a lots of energy. What happens when you waste lots of energy? As WHO, World Health Organization says, when the energy of the soul is dissipated, the physical body becomes weak. After so many years, if you continuously using 30 years or 40 years continuously, just being a part of your emotions and your body, your energy, because of lack of your energy, your body becomes weak. That's why what WHO says is 90% of the diseases are psychosomatic. It's related to the mental patterns. Whatever the energy you give, you produce, it reflects in the body. If you are producing continuously fearful thoughts or any kind of negative thoughts, naturally, after some time, your body will receive the same kind of signals. It won't go anywhere outside. Because as I told you, the mind ripples, the ripples of your mind drawn by your body. How it travels, the thoughts travels, we will come to know now. So my dear friends, the most important point we are going to start, the mind you have to explore. That's why the cultivation or purification of one's raw mind. Raw mind means it's totally a mind-oriented fellow. The raw mind is absolutely essential and is foundation stone of the mansion that contributes to one's own spiritual progress. So whatever you want to build, either material or spiritual, whatever it is, you have to take care of the mind. The cultivation and purification of the mind is most important. Like an uncultivated land produced lots of weeds. Similarly, the uncultivated mind produces lots and lots of thoughts. That's why you have to take care of the mind first. Because which is the invisible area and the non-physical area. So you are traveling from the non-physical to physical, my dear friends. Remember this point. The whole humanity, whoever on the earth, they all together, they already traveled, they are going to travel from the non-physical to physical, my dear friends. Remember this point. You are the non-physical being. That's why you have to take care of the non-physical part first. Unless you explore the non-physical of your own identity, you don't feel or exhibit your physical identity well. Not in a manner of social structure, I am saying. It's your own happiness, your own thing. You cannot exhibit. You have to explore as you explore in the physical part, you have to explore the non-physical part also through meditation, my dear friends. Meditation only gives you that wisdom, that knowledge, what is non-physical part of yourself. So, my dear friends, by doing continuous meditation, means cultivation and purification of your mind, you can build mansions. You can build mansions on that. You can do anything, whatever you want, either physical or non-physical. Just because of meditation, single and a very simple part, that means by observing the Anapanasati meditation, lakhs of people are just flying with their wings like anything. Because there is a tremendous transformation in that. So, my dear friends, by regular taking care of your mind, the first in day-to-day life, through meditation and regular practice, you can do wonders. So we will go further. That's why Rishi Patanjali, what he defined, a wonderful definition of most of the spiritual aspirants, spiritual people knows this. Yet I am going to say it again. The simple and one sentence, the yoga chitta vritti nirodha. He gave us a wonderful definition. Only one thing. Yoga means, meditation means chitta vritti nirodha. He is pointing about nothing about only one thing. He is talking about the mind first. Why? Because you can see chitta means the total mind stuff. The entire mind stuff. Either you are 20 years or 30 years or 40 years or 50 years, whatever. You cannot see your mind in a big balloon like anything behind your physical body. But the mind exists in the mental arena, in your mental body. Whatever you did through your feelings, not only this life, there are so many thoughts you carry from your past lives also because of the desires, whatever it may be. So everything is there. So what he is talking about? Chitta means the entire mind stuff, which is there in the mental arena. Vritti means the movements in action You may forget and something happened in the past 10 years or 15 years. But when the incident comes similarly, when you think, when you remember those things, those 15 years, before the 15 years, whatever you experience, the same thought immediately, it comes by action. At that time, it is there in your feeling arena, it's there in your mental body, but once you start thinking, it comes up, it moves. So it is called vritti. When the thought moves, it is called vritti. Chitta means the entire mind stuff. Vritti means the movement of the thought. Nirodha means to stop, my dear friends. You have to stop your mental activity first. What happens? This is the bridge. Anyone can experience what I am telling. This is the mind. Once you stop the mind stuff, immediately you go beyond the mind. Meditation means using your mind to go beyond the mind itself. Once you go beyond the mind, you can do anything, you can do wonders. You can experience all that what I said, the non-physical part of your being, the true nature of your own being, the true nature of yourself, the infinite nature of yourself. Many things can happen. It's a vast journey, my dear friends. It's like oceanic. You have to go behind your mind. It is just a simple technique called Anapanasati Yoga. By doing regular practice of meditation, you can go beyond the mind. Everyone can do that. A simple, sincere practice is needed. Anyone, this is the bridge. You have to cross the bridge. Unless you cross the bridge, you cannot see anything. You have to cross. The bridge is called the mind, a raw mind. It believes that always what it is thinking is right. No, you have to stop all the activity. You have to withdraw from all the mental activity and go behind. Once you go behind the mind, then you will come to know all the possibilities of your own self. Unless you do that, you will be the same person, very limited by body and mind. You have to cross from the body, mind to mind, soul, my dear friends. This is what science of meditation says. The great master, George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, the Russian master, said that a person like who attached to the body, that means in a small sentence, he gave a wonderful message that attached to the body is disease, attached to the mind is slavery, attached to the soul is liberation. Only 3 sentences, that's it. What a great master. So my dear friends, this is the most important area everyone in day-to-day life, whoever, even if you are practicing regular meditation also, you have to watch your mind, otherwise it blames you, it takes you into the different area, because by doing regular meditation only you can watch your mind. What happens once you go beyond the mind, you can watch. If you cross the bridge, then only you can see the mind, otherwise not possible. You will be bluffed by your mind if you don't cross the bridge. Anyone can recognize what is happening inside. If you spend an entire lifetime, you don't know what is happening inside your own self, believing the mind, whatever it is saying, through the social structure, whatever you feel, and you spend entire incarnation just with the mind stuff. See, you have to cross the bridge to see the mind. Then slowly you will slow down. You have to slow down the process. You have to slow down the mind. No need to hurry. Don't drive too much fast. When you go 150 km speed, you cannot see the images clearly. Similarly, if you are running very fast, not knowing anything about your mind, you will be going to meet an accident naturally. Because not knowing yourself, you are continuously thinking after you may not take. I will give you a simple example. If you are speaking on a stage, out of 1,000 persons are there, you are speaking from the dais, and one of all the 1,000 people are shouting like anything. And one person is showing his hand, he wants to speak something to you. Can you hear? Not possible, you cannot hear. Because there is a lot of disturbance in front of you. The same thing, if all the 999 people reduce their voices, then there is no voice at all. Then one person can say hello, you can immediately listen. Same thing, when the mind is totally running, you cannot see the images clearly, what is happening inside yourself. So every day, most of the person, even you are a spiritualist or you are a master or whatever, you must watch what is happening, what is going on inside exactly. If you are disturbed or whatever. Sometimes, not every moment, at least for sometimes, you will come to know what is happening inside, my dear friends. So now we will come to the next section is science of brain. What is the relation between the mind, the invisible, and the brain is the visible part. Your mind is not in the physical body, my dear friends, because it is not in the physical body. In the physical body, there is a brain. It's a biocomputer. Whatever the mind produces, it receives like a mobile phone. You can see the mobile phone physically, but you cannot see the signals which is coming to your mobile. You receive the signals, that's it. It is a physical component. It is like an object part of this thing. It's a wonderful biocomputer, well designed by nature. A wonderful design, wonderfully designed. So that's what we have. So much. If you know the spiritual vibration, spiritual this thing, the non-physical part of yourself, you will come to know all these things. So this a small brain contains 1.1 trillion cells and 100 billion neurons. Most of the doctors and everyone knows this. Every neuron transmits signals continuously. Now what happens? When you continuously bombarding without knowing yourself, continuously thinking, when you think, it's continuously, your brain receives the signals from your non-physical part of your brain, non-physical part of your physical body. You always receive the signals from the non-physical to physical. The brain receives the signals through the channels, through the layers called, it is a two-way system. You experience something from the outer world, it goes in, again, if you want to give something, again it transfers through the non-physical to physical. The physical to non-physical, non-physical to physical. Through the many layers called aura. So the subject is different because to go into the deeper side of this thing, we have to know the chakras and other bodies. Next time, we will explore all those things. I am not going to for all those things in detail. Now, only thing is your brain receives the signals from the non-physical part continuously, my dear friends. So whenever you are thinking continuously, you are bombarding the brain neurons continuously because you can see, you can just imagine yourself like a traffic in the metropolitan cities, in the peak hours. The same thing, continuously you are bombarding so that you are drawing the energy, you are pulling the energy maximum from your non-physical part, my dear friends. It means the mind is the mind is the brain in action or at work. So mind is different, your brain is different, my dear friends. Now your mind is non-physical and your brain receives the signals from the non-physical to the physical. That's why you are always from the non-physical to physical, my dear friends. Why I am saying this is, you have to remember yourself, you are a non-physical being first. So now you see the left and right brains. The left is logical, sequential, rational, analytical, objective, looks apart. Because you must, when you operate in the physical world, you must have this, all these things. Because your left brain is much more active in day-to-day life. Similarly, the nature gives us wonderful, everything in balance. Because see, the right brain is random, intuitive, holistic, synthesizing, subjective, and looks at all. See, the two compartments are there in yourself only, in your physical body itself, because the nature has designed like that. Your blueprint in the non-physical part designed wonderfully. That's why you have everything in your hands. But what happens? We use most of our life, we use the left brain only. Right brain, we have wonderful things, but we don't go for the right side. Why? Because the left cortex is always in a hurry. When you are in a hurry with the left compartment, you don't go to the right compartment because all the energy you are pumping out through the left brain only. Where is the chance? You don't have any choice to send some energies to the right brain. This is where the meditation helps, my dear friends. Two compartments are there, but entire life you are totally depends on one compartment. Nature gave you everything to fully balance yourself on this planet, to enjoy the physicality. But you are using only one compartment, which is always in a hurry. That's why the left is hurry, workout problems, and impatient. And the same thing, right sees the answers to the problem and passes to the left. When you do meditation, most of the meditators, you must listen their experiences. Once you listen, they give you so much of, in day-to-day life problems, how they receive the signals from the right brain, to the intuition, so many things. So my dear friends, that's why by stilling the left brain through meditation, here comes the meditation part. By stilling the left brain through meditation, doors of perception open to the larger quantum field. As I told you, open to the larger quantum field is nothing but once you cross the bridge, once you go beyond the mind, you have opened your wings to the cosmos, open your wings to the unlimited nature of yourself. When connected to the quantum field, everything appears much brighter, colors more intense and very real. Once you collect those energy fields from the non-physical area, once you come back, once you finish after meditation, you feel more relaxed, you can see the world more colorful. By doing regular practice, not 1 or 2 days, my dear friends, what I'm telling you, by continuous practice, this is possible, my dear friends. This is a science, a great science. Everyone should adapt. You should not depend on only one kind of thing, the left brain using continuously your energies, pumping out all the energies. There is no way you are sending some kind of energy to the right brain. So that is why meditation increases the activity of prefrontal cortex, that is called the third eye, which is in a right brain part. That means when you give sufficient energies to all these beautiful things in our own self, in the brain itself, there are many, many miraculous things which is already inbuilt, but we never use. Why? Because you are totally mind-oriented being. So you are not giving any chance to the other components, which is very, very, very useful in day-to-day life and your spiritual life. It is there in the brain itself, the prefrontal cortex, which is the CEO, chairman and executive officer, which is there in your brain only, but we never activated it, which is called a third eye, which is responsible for happiness, relaxation, emotional balance, everything. So many things are there in your brain itself. Meditation practice results high levels of serotonin. This is a wonderful neurotransmitters, but we never activate unless you do meditation. Once you do meditation, you receive abundant energy, you start the mental activity, slowly, slowly what happens, whatever the energy you receives, it is not going out, you are not sending, pumping out anywhere. Once you receives, it slowly, slowly, it circulates in the body, slowly, slowly, the water goes to the other side also. The same, the energy drifts from the left brain to the right brain naturally. Whenever the energies are going there, whenever you receive the abundant energy, whatever the unilluminated parts of your brain will be illuminated, will be activated. Naturally, it activates. You have to activate, you have to do your full potential. Everything is inbuilt, my dear friends. By doing meditation, you can go towards your full potential of life. It is there inside, but we are not utilizing it. By doing meditation regularly, by sending the energies to the other parts of your brain, by illuminating all the components, then naturally your whole body will become like an energy field. Earlier you are not contacted with the energy field which is there. The whole your physical body, the entire life which you have been dependent on the non-physical body, slowly, slowly you will be connected to the physical body. The non-physical to physical, you will establish a wonderful bridge from the non-physical to physical by doing regular meditation, my dear friends. Meditation only gives this. So, my dear friends, these are the few experiments did in the USA. In USA, the researchers of Wisconsin University mentioned the brain activity. They did so many researches. Nowadays, the science and spiritualities, many, many masters are coming to create a wonderful bridge, the science and spirituality. The two fields are emerging. The paradigm of conventional field of things, that means the conventional medicine have gone now slowly, slowly. The spiritual things are coming into meet. They are going to create a bridge. So you can see the brain waves. The first is 18 to 14 cycles per second. That means beta waves, 18 to 14. That means in your regular activity. Next, they studied alpha is 14 to 7 cycles per second. Little bit rest or sleep, or when you walk in the nature, or when you are spending a good time in nature. Number 3 is theta, which is most important, 7 to 4. See, the 18 to 7, when you do meditation, automatically your brain waves, that means your mind waves reduces from 18 to 7 or 4. This means the 7 to 4 means you are accumulating knowledge. Sorry, you are accumulating the energy inside yourself. You are preparing yourself. So you are experiencing the energy field. Next is delta 4 to 1.5 is called samadhi. Sometimes you don't see any kind of ripples. That means when you go beyond your mind, where there is no thoughts whatsoever, my dear friends. I experienced this state many, many times. What a wonderful state it is. What a wonderful state of being. Going deeper, deeper, deeper into your own self, where there is no thoughts, everything is empty, but everything is full also simultaneously. I can able to hear the voices from outside, but nothing is there in the mind. Nothing is disturbing me. Simultaneously inside I am full. That means no thoughts, totally empty. Sometimes I could hear my own heartbeat. There is no breath. I can see my body. I can hear the voices from outside, but nothing is there inside. My whole body, my whole physical system is vibrating with that energies. Everyone can experience this by doing regular meditation. What a wonderful state it is. This is called the delta. Its name is samadhi. So these are the brain functioning things. You can see the baseline, the meditator who is regular meditation. They scan the brain, this thing, after meditation, before meditation. You can see there is a lot of gray matter in the baseline. The gray matter is very less. The more illuminated mind, illuminated brain. On the right. So my dear friends, now we will come to a meditation part, the most important. Meditation essentially trains the raw mind. This is the first thing. What happens in meditation? Meditation essentially trains the raw mind to access and focus inner awareness. That's what I told you. Inner awareness, what is happening inside? What is happening to your emotions, your mind, your activities? So meditation means, it's a wonderful trainer. Meditation means maximum cessation of all the restless waves of the mind stuff, making it crystal clear. It is like an unrippled lake. There is no ripples at all. Clear like a mirror. So now you can see the meditation is not only about keeping the mind still. You cannot keep the mind still continuously. It is also about watching intensely the mind's movement also. The more you do meditation, you can see the mind movements, what is happening inside. It is like a movement and stillness. You can see the both by going beyond the mind. Stillness and movement are two sides of the same coin. When you come into the activity, the mind activates. When you go beyond your mind, it is called a stillness. Just a wave and no wave are integral part of the same ocean. By doing regular meditation, we can experience this. These two sides in day-to-day life and going beyond the mind in meditation. You have to use your mind properly. Unless you go beyond your mind and know the entire mind stuff, what is exactly you are, you cannot use your mind properly. By going beyond the mind, you can see the mind clearly, crystal clearly. It's a wonderful thing, my dear friends. Because the same thoughts in your mind, some of the thoughts that drags you, pulls you down, some of the thoughts, some of the emotions, you can go up also by using those kind of thoughts. By doing meditation, you can upgrade yourself by bringing those thoughts, by helping others, by serving others. So many things are there which gives you more happiness. Those kind of thoughts it will produce. Your meditation will give that. So my dear friends, the more meditation we do, the more stable our life will be, physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. These are the benefits, my dear friends. Very simple. The more meditation we do, the more stable our life will be, physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. All fields. So, my dear friends, this is the main point, is the regular meditation. Regular meditation helps your mind to concentrate, focus, analyze, synthesize without drifting. What is without drifting means? In Torkam Saradarian, the great master, in his language, continuity of consciousness means you have to do regular practice. Otherwise, when you move around your world, you may collect so much of dust, the mental dust. Slowly, slowly, without knowing yourself, it will be drawn to your energy field, slowly, slowly. You may not know. If your meditation is on and off, naturally, you will be there all the time, the same person. Because once the dust is there, you have to clean it again. That's why up to the one point, up to a reach, there is a mark. The water evaporates at certain degrees of heat. Similarly, you have to do meditation up to a mark where is must. A regular meditation is must. You have to cross the bridge totally. That's why regular meditation helps your mind to concentrate, focus, analyze, and synthesize without drifting. Regularly disciplines the mind. Regularity disciplines the mind. You must be a disciplined. Discipline is very important, my dear friends, in spirituality. Without discipline, nothing will happen. You will be the same person. Even if you do meditation continuously for 10 years on and off, it won't work. Discipline and regularity is very, very important. So, meditation is a great inner adventure, my dear friends. Meditation enables existential that is with all that is. Meditation enables existential connection with all that is. You can see the picture itself. See the what a wonderful being you are inside. That's why it's a great adventure. So, my dear friends, now we'll come to the breath part, the most crucial part. What is the link between now we run through the mind and the mind to the brain and the meditation. Now, the meditation and the breath, which is the most crucial part, most important part of this session. So, breath is a spiritual essence which gives life to the physical body through the vital principle called prana. Prana is the life force, my dear friends. And force is that means the prana is most important thing. Observing breath makes us consciously experience the prana. Whatever you feel, each and every breath, you are inhaling these subtle fields called prana. Means this is vital energy. We are not aware of this, but what happens? I will tell you something about this. Once you comes out of your mother's womb, every child, what happens? Once they come out, naturally you take in breath. That's called, once you take the breath, the baby take the inside. Once the prana goes inside, naturally you are alive. Otherwise, the body is just like a body. Corpse. Once the breath goes inside, the prana goes inside, naturally the incoming soul from the higher worlds, the external prana, both together creates a wonderful bridge. Then you are alive. Once the prana comes in, naturally your heart beats, your everything, the vitality comes in. Then only after that everything happens. What a great integrity in physical and non-physical. See the nature, see the Srishti, how beautifully it designed. Before coming to the physical life, you are there. Once you are coming to the physical life also, immediately the prana connects you. You are always connected by the forces of the existence, my dear friends, through the prana. Before coming, you are already in the energy part, your non-physical part. When you come to the physical part, immediately the bridge is there. The non-physical part immediately enters through your nostrils, through the field called prana. Immediately you become alive. So what is giving you life? The energy, the non-physical part again. We forget the entire life, the great source, the great reservoir which is there inside us, but we never give any importance. That's why breath is the most important aspect, not only a non-spiritual, spiritual, for each and every person, whoever goes through the spiritual side of the things, first they have to explore the breath. Because inherent, there is a great field called prana, which gives the life force. It is not your breath and my breath. The whole globe inhales it and exhales it. When you come into the mother's womb, you take prana, with the breath you take life, with the prana, and once you go out from the physical world, you exhale the prana. You are the same, my dear friends. You never changed. You are the same before coming and after going. Only you come through the body and you go out from the body. That's it. That's why there's no death at all. So, my dear friends, by observing prana, you experience more energy. So that's why meditation, by experiencing a prana, by observing the breath, you are going to in-depth of meditation, my dear friends. Focusing on the continuous rhythm of in-breath and out-breath provides natural object of meditation. By being with the prana, by being with the breath, naturally it provides a wonderful, you can experience the state of meditation immediately, because you cannot think and breathe. You cannot do the two things simultaneously. When you focus on the breath, naturally your mind becomes empty. When the mind is there, your focus is not on the breath. Remember this point. When your focus is on your breath, naturally your mind is not there. Slowly, you are withdrawing from your mental activity, my dear friends, when by doing regularly, by doing sincerely, by doing continuously, slowly, you are withdrawing from the mental activity, and you are going to see a state of no mind. It's called dhyana or meditation. What a wonderful state it is. So, my dear friends, breath is the life force, and the life force is God. You do not have to go anywhere. The God is there already within you. It is everywhere. Only you have to do is just be with the life force. And the life force is God. Focus on the breath and you automatically focus on God. What a wonderful statement. It's all really very simple, my dear friends. Very simple. You are surrounded by those energies always, just by inhalation and exhalation. Be with it. By simple, this simple meditation is called Anapanasati Yoga. What a Ana means inhalation, apana means exhalation, sati means to be with it. By doing this simple meditation, millions and millions of people are very, very happy and they reach enlightenment to just being with the breath. So, my dear friends, breath is the external form of prana, spirit is the internal form, my dear friends. By experience the breath, the external form, we become aware of the source within the internal form, my dear friends. The inner and outer emerge. Actually, they are together only by through our regular mental activity, but we are separating from us. When you go within, by focusing on the breath, you will meet your own greater identity, your own greater self, your own cosmic self. Your vast nature of your own self, my dear friends. What a great thing it is. So, my dear friends, I am very happy by giving this opportunity to me. Srikanth and Sirisha Garu invited me to giving this opportunity. So, this is the last part of this thing, meditation, breath and meditation. Now I'll hand over to Srikanth Garu.